This is the Coody 10 Inflatable Canvas Luxury Tent. This is a 12 by 8.5 waterproof tent with interchangeable windows, completely removable front and back panels, 2 clear skylights, and a stove jack for a wood-burning stove. This tent comes in beige, green, and black and includes extra windows, a rainfly, stakes, ties, and a pump. And I just spent 2 days unboxing, setting up, and reviewing this tent so I can tell you everything there is to know about it. Today I'm going to use an electric pump to inflate this tent, and right now you can get a discount on that pump, this tent, or anything else you want from the Coody website by using my link in the comments below. Your tent will arrive in one big box weighing approximately 71 pounds. If you include the air pump in your order, that will arrive separately in a smaller box with a convenient picture of the pump right on the front. To keep your tent protected in shipping, it is double packed inside one box inside another box. And just look at that beautiful forest green. The first thing we remove from the box is a small accessory bag. This bag is also forest green, just like the tent, with the Coody logo right on the front. And that is an awesome logo. This bag has 2 handles on the top, 2 tension straps with the Coody logo embossed on the clips, and a zipper that follows the length of the bag. Inside the bag we find the rainfly, which is also green. I'll show you what this looks like on the tent after a bit. We have guy lines already attached. The underside of the rainfly is black. This helps to keep the inside of your tent cool in the summer and hot in the winter. We also have a drawstring that you can pull it tight on your tent, and I'll show you all of that once we set that up. Before we take the tent out of the box, you will notice that it has a handle on each side, as well as 2 tension straps in the middle. This tent is heavy, so if you're not using 2 people, I suggest you grab the handle on each side and slide your hands under the tension straps. That will give you the best grip you can get on this tent to lift it up out of your box. And make sure you lift with your legs, not your back. Now, one thing I love about these tents is the design and presentation. I mean, first of all, that just looks cool as it is. Not to mention it matches my green Stanley. Giant forest green duffel bag with the awesome Coody logo right on the front. Even the tags look cool. I don't know about you, but when I buy something, I want it to make me feel good, and that does the trick. Just looking at that makes me excited to go camping. As for functionality, this bag cannot be beat. 2 heavy-duty handles, 2 tension straps, a long drawstring. The mouth of the bag opens up as big as the bag itself, instruction sheet sewn in on one side, and a protective flap on the other. As we pull the bag open, you can see the bag itself is absolutely enormous, so you will never have a problem getting this tent back inside. The first thing we pull out of the bag is a PVC repair kit for your tent in an orange tube with 2 patches, 2 tubes of glue, and a brush. There's also an instruction booklet with a page of awesome Coody stickers. The tent itself is rolled up in a tight package secured with another tension strap. As we unroll the tent, we find a few more things inside. A large canvas bag, a small canvas bag, and a clear plastic package. Inside the small canvas bag, you will find 16 heavy-duty tent stakes. And these are not your run-of-the-mill tent stakes. Everything that comes with these tents is high quality. In the second canvas bag, you will find the manual hand pump. And this thing looks awesome. Coody logo right on the front, swivel handle, smooth action, and a PSI gauge right on the top of the handle. There's also an air tube with 5 different connectors. The tube screws right onto the handle of the air pump and the other end right into your tent, and you simply pump it up. When you're done, it comes apart and goes right back in the bag. And last but not least, there are 2 clear plastic windows that are interchangeable with the windows in your tent. Velcro along the top, a zipper around the perimeter, and the plastic extends over the zipper to prevent any rain from getting in. I'll show you how to install those as we get around to setting up the tent, but for now, all of that stuff can be packed tightly in that beautiful green duffel bag with the rainfly. And let's move on to the best part of this video, setting up your tent. Choose your spot, put down your tarp, take off the tension strap, and unroll your tent. Stake down the 4 corners before you inflate your tent so that it will be held firmly in place. You can still inflate it without staking it down, but the corners can fold in and make it that much more difficult to get it to stand up in place. Now this tent actually opens at both ends, so it doesn't really matter which way you set it up as far as the front goes. However, I set it up with this side in the front because this one has a clear plastic panel, and I want to be able to look out this end here. Now with the bigger tents, you have two air valves, one on each corner on one side. That would be for like the 12 by 16 Coody Koala 7 or 17.2 it's also known as. This tent is about 8.5 by 12, so it only has one air valve, and that would be right up here in the front under this flap. So you can see there are two parts here. I can unscrew the top and show you this right here, and this is basically like a stop valve. It allows the air to go in but not come out. So we're going to screw that one into place right here, and then this is where we're going to connect our air tube to inflate the tent. And as I said in the beginning, we're going to use the electric pump from Coody to inflate this tent. This pump connects straight to the tent, hit the power, set the PSI, and you're ready to go. With this pump, this tent took under 5 minutes to completely inflate. About halfway through, you just have to walk around and help the frame pop into place. Give it another minute to let the pump reach the PSI setting, and that frame is hard as a rock. And there you go, all set up and ready to go. Less than 5 minutes to inflate that tent with that electric pump, and that thing is beautiful. And now there's snow on the ground. But we are going to continue this video so that I can show you everything about this tent. Right now I have everything zipped up and closed up because I want to start from the beginning and just make sure that I show you everything. So first you'll notice that we have this clear skylight on the top. There is actually one of those on each side of this tent. The Coody logo right there in the front. On the other side, the Coody logo is in the back. We have the stove jack right up here that we're going to talk about in just a minute. You can see that we have a big canvas flap on this side here, as well as the other side. And those are big mesh windows under those flaps. I'm going to show you those in just a minute. But let's back up for just a minute here. This tent does measure 12 feet by 8.5 feet. That's 12 feet across the front, 8.5 feet to the back, and about 7 feet up to the peak there. In addition, these walls are each about 4.5 feet tall. That gives you plenty of room to walk around in this tent without having to bend over. On the front here, you can see that we have a big canvas panel that zips down the front, velcros across the bottom, and there is a zipper around the entire perimeter of this panel because it can be completely removed. If we open this up, there's a string up under here on each side that can be tied. The panels can be pulled back. That opens up the whole front of the tent, and you can see that there's a clear plastic panel behind that. Now that whole panel can be removed as well. It does zip up the middle and across the bottom, so you can also pull those flaps back just like the canvas. But with that in place, that offers a way to help keep the heat inside the tent and lets you look outside the tent while you're sitting inside. It's warm in there and it's freezing out here, snowing, raining, sleeting. You get the picture. And taking a look at the back, it is the exact same thing. A canvas panel with a zipper around the perimeter, Velcro along the bottom, and that whole panel can be removed as well. Now, before we move on to these windows over here, I do want to point out that this tent does come with guy lines attached. You can see I already have them staked in, and when you stake this tent in properly, they will hold perfectly still in high winds. And those guy lines can be found on each corner of the tent, front and back. And they are already installed right out of the bag. You can see that we also have another flap over here. That is a Velcro flap. You just pull it off of there, roll it up, it Velcros into place up here. We have two ports and a little zipper down here, and that is for use with either a diesel heater or an air conditioning unit. The zipper down here can be opened up for an extension cord, and if you're not going to use it, you simply just unroll it and it Velcros right back into place. Now onto these windows. You can see that we have toggles up here on the top. There is a zipper along each side of this and Velcro along the bottom to hold it closed. If you want that open to the mesh, that panel simply rolls up, toggles into place with ropes and toggles across the top, and there you have a wide open mesh window. One on this side and one on this side. With those both open in the summer, that lets through a lot of nice, cool, fresh air. And just like the front, the canvas flaps on the back can be pulled back, tied into place, and there you have one big mesh panel open, letting even more fresh air through, or as today, 30-degree air. The mesh panel on the back does zip all the way down and across the bottom. Just like the other panel, you can pull those flaps out and tie them to the sides to have the end wide open. Now I've got it closed again, but that mesh is part of the same panel as the canvas, and that whole panel can be removed. Now, one more thing before we move to the inside. I mentioned the stove jack right up here beside that window. That is where your stovepipe comes out when you're camping in cold weather. That basically just pulls up, you roll it up and Velcro it at the top, just like that other panel I showed you. And if we step inside here, you can see that we already have our stove set up here. The pipe goes all the way up and through this hole right here, and this is the flap I was just telling you about, that rolls up and out of the way, Velcros up here so it doesn't touch the pipe. And there we go, you can see what I mean. I put the stove pipe in place, pushed it up through the hole here, and then you can see where it extends up outside, and that's what allows you to use your stove inside your tent. Now, we're not going to light the stove just yet. I did use it the other day, but I want to show you some other stuff first, like just how big it is inside this tent. Like I said, it is 8.5 by 12 feet. It's difficult to show you how big it is in here on camera. Like, you really just have to experience it for yourself. But this is an enormous area in here. We have a Caminus M medium wood burning stove in here right now. Really, you only need the small wood-burning stove, though. It would heat this thing up perfectly. This is just the one that I had available at the time. That's why I set this one up. I love this stove, though. There is plenty of room along the other side over here. If you wanted to put, like, the bag for your stove and your wood, anything else you might need, you can put it over here. It's kind of out of the way. You have this whole section over here, which is plenty big for a nice-sized chair or two. I actually have a folding chair with me right now that I can set over here and just show you how it looks. And then on the opposite side, you have all this space for anything else you want. Your bed there, whether you're using a cot or an inflatable mattress. Like, as it stands right here, you could have a queen-size mattress in here easily. Now, I've probably said it 10 times, but this is an inflatable tent, so this is the structure up here, the air tube. In short, if you have a heat source going and you are actively using your tent, you can use these things in very, very, very cold weather. Last night it was down to 9 degrees and I did not have my fire going, and these pipes are still very tight and very full of air. But to continue with this video, you can see the whole frame of the air tubes. This is what holds up your tent. 7 psi like I showed you when I inflated it, and it is solid as a rock. You can see that our skylights open all the way up. We have canvas flaps along those that roll up and toggle into place. Those flaps can be let down and then toggled at the corners to be held out of place and cover that window if you don't want that light coming in. It's fun to lay there and look at the rain or the snow or the sky, but sometimes at like campgrounds, you'll have big lights up above, and if you don't want that shining in when you're trying to go to sleep, you can just close the window like that. Now, I mentioned this when I was outside showing you the back of the tent, but you can see that this panel back here, the mesh and the canvas, has a zipper around the whole perimeter. That whole panel can be removed, completely opening up the back end of your tent. And like I already said about the front as well, that entire panel can also be removed, basically making it like a tunnel. Or, which I will talk about in another video, you can connect these Coody tents. You can connect one to another, you can connect them to the hub, you can connect them to the octopus. These tents are awesome, I'm telling you. You can build an entire city if you wanted to. So along the top, we also have this rope that you can hang things on, whether it's lights or towels or clothes. Behind this bag over here, and under this window over here as well, we have a small mesh bag. Those are perfect for keys, wallets, cell phones. And last but not least, on our tour inside this tent, this floor is completely removable. There is elastic around each of the tubes at the corner, and then a zipper all the way to the tubes on each corner. Personally, I like a floor in my tent, but if you were going to use this for something like ice fishing, you could remove this floor. Now, one thing that people have been asking me a lot about is the corner here. Can bugs or critters get in there? Well, let me just show you how this is set up. Zipper on each side that comes to the tube, elastic around the tube, and if we unzip this and pull it back, you can see that there is Velcro, thick Velcro around that tube, Velcro on the bottom here. So that gives you the seal around that tube to keep out any kind of critters or bugs or anything. In addition, you have this flap here that goes around the perimeter, and this measures probably 12 inches here. And underneath that is your tarp that you set down before you set up your tent. So with everything in place properly, Velcro that into place, zip your edges, you're not going to have any issues with anything getting in there. So I think that I have covered everything on the inside and the out. The only thing left to do is show you the clear plastic windows that go in here, and this tent does come with 2 of them, so you have one for this side as well as one for this side. And we want to put the rainfly on. Now, installing the plastic windows is very easy. The first thing you need to do, though, is unzip the mesh windows and toggle them at the top, and you can do this from the outside or the inside. Unzip them around the perimeter, roll it up to the top of the window just like this, and you have toggles right there. And then you take this toggle, stick it in that loop all across the top, and now your window is wide open. Now we're just going to do that on this side. We're going to leave the mesh down on this side so you can see that you can put the window in with the mesh in place or with the mesh open. And these windows install easily by a wide Velcro strip along the top and a zipper around the rest of the perimeter. And there's how it looks with both of those plastic windows in and the plastic front panel, as well as the 2 permanent plastic skylights. Now you can sit inside and have a clear view of anything going on outside. In addition, from the inside, all of that plastic blocks the wind and will help to keep the heat in when you're running your stove, along with the rainfly. And there it is. Very easy to install. Throw it over the top of your tent, move it around into place, and you know you have it in the right position when the Coody logos match up with what's on the tent. This side in the back, this side on the front. There are D-rings on each corner of the rainfly to stake them in. There are guy lines already attached. More opportunities to stake there, there, and there. And it's the same on the front and the back, guy lines on each corner. That gives you 10 ways to stake this down. And then there are 3 loops on each side. And just like with those panels on the front and the top of the windows, there are toggles under each side as well. You can roll up the sides and toggle them into place, but you can toggle those sides up, opening up those clear plastic windows to be able to have the rainfly on, and at the same time looking out those windows. Now, the Panda tents do come with a stove jack in the rainfly, but the Coody tents do not. I understand they have plans of putting them in the future, but for now I have a video up that shows you exactly what to get and how to put a stove jack in that rainfly yourself. Very cheap, very easy. Stove jack, glue, even a silicone boot. And then you can use this tent with the rainfly and your stove at the same time. And there it is, guys, the Coody 10 inflatable luxury tent from RBM Outdoors. I think I have told you everything you need to know. If I haven't, please feel free to leave a comment below. Ask me any questions you want. If I don't have the answer, I will get the answer.